Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Thank you once again for joining us here for a live broadcast from the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. My name is Rod Morgan. I will be host of the Balls and Brew program this evening.
And I am Jimmy. I am the producer this evening, and I am always on point. I'm great. I'm fantastic. I always get everything right. Listen to me for correct predictions, guys.
Yes, Jimmy, thank you for jumping in there. I had a cough come on me at the worst time ever, right when you're in the middle of the intro. So Jimmy Jam, our wonderful executive producer, backed me up as he always does, taking care of all things, making this available for you on YouTube, making this available for you in podcast form, wherever you happen to listen to podcasts. Do us a holiday favor and subscribe, comment, whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. Please make sure that is done. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. It helps us out. It doesn't cost you nothing. We absolutely appreciate it. Somebody who has zero idea of anything I was just talking about means 5 stars, social media platforms, YouTube, no clue. He's still using rabbit ears and tinfoil down there at the old man cave. It's our guy, Chris King. Chris, hello.
What's up? We got Tesla coils right outside giving us the signal that we need to keep communicating, Rod.
Test the coils. I love it. He loves it every time when I can throw him to something like that. Our guy, the handicapper who makes all the football smart things around here, right? He does all of the research. He knows the numbers. He can tell you what the acronyms actually mean. If you came up and asked me what VPA or NPA or luck this, that, or the other means, I got zero clue for you. But we have someone on the podcast who knows. It's our guy, the handicapper. Once upon a time, we called him the anonymous gambler. Now we just call him Josh Williams.
What's up, boys? Maybe I should start going again by the anonymous gambler because I wanted to again against the spread.
Yeah, no one wants to know you're on this podcast, dude.
I mean, we got Buffalo over Detroit, right? We lost Tomlin and Pittsburgh versus Philly. That offense is totally different without Pickens.
Nobody's going to blame you for that one. I mean, honestly, the Tomlin numbers that you were getting there, nobody's going to blame you for that one.
The one game that I cannot get out of my head, and this so your guys' teams are killing me. 2 weeks ago, it's Chris's Cowboys who block a punt with 2 minutes to go. They can't cover. I mean, and then this last week, your guys' Colts absolutely killing me. Not only can I not catch a break with these runouts, I am flat out running. I'm running into it this season. The Jonathan Taylor inexcusable drop at the goal line, just madness. I could go on and talk about this for like a half hour, so I won't. But it's the Colts just killing me this year.
Let's just dispatch with the Colts quickly here. All right, that was a microcosm of the Colts season, Jimmy, was it not? I mean, we were in the game technically for quite a while, but we weren't really in the game, and we didn't do anything wonderfully well. And it just, I was excited at how A-Rich played in the first half, right? And we got that mention of that was the longest consecutive snap streak he had ever played in his entire career. So I was like, okay, here we go.
Let's go.
And then halftime came around, and it was just like, this is who the Colts really are.
You know, as a Bears fan, the Jonathan Taylor thing didn't really faze me at all. That's one thing we haven't done yet. But I will tell you, they didn't score after that. I mean, that destroyed everything that they did. It just destroyed it. And it happened twice, I think, this weekend, and, like within a few hours of each other. And here's the thing. If you score a touchdown in the NFL, just do me a favor. You take the ball and go touch the goalpost with it, then you drop it. Just do that. Everything is fine. It's okay. They said it on the broadcast, Rod. It's like people lose their mind when they score a touchdown or going to score a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor's been there before. Act like it.
Yeah, his was really, really, really close, right? Like his was really, really close. One of the closest that you'll ever see. But you're right, Jim. Inexcusable. I love that. That's coach mentality. Take the ball, tap it on the goalpost. Chris, Jimmy proclaimed himself a Bears fan to start there. Let me go to a Cowboys fan who's also a Colts fan and get your thoughts here as we can dispatch with having to talk about the Colts as we move forward here. Because I don't care about their 15% chance of making the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, no, that really just killed us. I mean, I don't think we give up 21 points in the fourth quarter if we score that touchdown, right? Like, I think that changes the whole dynamic of the game. And, yeah, I mean, listen, we were taught, I mean, this is early days, but we were taught, you score a touchdown, you hand that football back to the ref like you've been there before. Like, that's a guaranteed way to make sure shenanigans like this doesn't happen.
I like that you said shenanigans. You know, our guy Farva from Super Troopers, he loves the restaurant shenanigans. The next guy that says shenanigans is going to get pistol whipped. So let's refrain from doing that, and we will move on and talk about a couple of things that are happening across the NFL. There's some dust down here in the Morganino studio this evening. I'm telling you what, man, I cannot keep from coughing, but I am a professional in hitting my microphone button. Williams, I think we should start down in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins signed for a bunch of money, and now he's being moved aside for Michael Penix Jr. You're handicapping now of the NFC South based on this move. Do you see any difference here?
I mean, it can't get any worse with Cousins. I mean, he was clearly hurt, playing hurt. And so now they decided to throw Penix in versus maybe the worst defense in football. So good spot there. We didn't think that they were going to do it against the Vikings, and that was probably smart by them to not do that. But they're still in the thick of things. What hurt them the most was the Bucs absolutely destroying the Chargers. That was shocking to me last week.
What do you mean shocking? That's Baker. What are we talking about? This is a pro Baker podcast. He looks
Chargers going to Charger.
Man, in a world where Jim Harbaugh takes over the Chargers and you know the Chargers are now known for not doing anything stupid or not having any negative plays or any turnovers, they could not get it going against the Bucs. Man, the Bucs looked awesome that game. So and you look at the Bucs remaining schedule. This is why we tried to give out Bucs to win the South a few weeks ago. Hopefully somebody got on that because I'm on it for plus 650. I think we gave it out at like plus 450. That's looking good because you look at the remaining schedule. That looks a lot better. I mean, even though it's an upgrade, I think an upgrade now for Penix with the Falcons, they still have to go to Washington in a few weeks. So that's tough.
Jimmy Jam, let's spin it forward here. I mean, because like this is a big time move, right? Like if you're Kirk Cousins and you sign this big contract with the Falcons and then they draft this guy, move up in the draft to draft this guy and then bench you, right? Like you're out of there, right? Like you're not coming back next season. Like it's the Kirk Cousins experience is over in Atlanta, right?
Oh, 100%. You have Deshaun Watson, who had $230 million guaranteed. You had Kirk Cousins over $100 million guaranteed. And neither of them are going to be starting for their teams the rest of this year, obviously, for Watson, but next year either. So, yeah, Kirk Cousins is over in Atlanta. It's so weird. If this was I don't understand the plan because last year we were saying, hey, if Kirk Cousins is on the Falcons, they're going to win the West. If that Kirk Cousins was, they would have. But this Kirk Cousins is someone different. I will say, anytime you're coming back from that injury, you got to have a year, and then it's the year after you come back that you're a little bit better. That's the one saving grace you have here. So just be careful. Kirk Cousins might have a good year next year.
Chris, we touched on Cousins there. I'm going to give you the difficult question of the week, all right? The difficult question for the week is, Chris, which quarterback change actually means more? The fact that Will Levis is once and for all benched in Tennessee, or the fact that our guy Jameis is getting set down and Dorian Thompson-Robinson is coming back for the Cleveland Browns? Which one of those moves the needles more, Chris? See what I mean? A tough question. I don't know how you're going to tackle this one.
I think the Browns will move the needle more than the Titans just because the Browns still have Watson, who they plan on bringing back next year as well. So the soap opera and dysfunction that is Cleveland football team will continue. So the Browns still will move the needle more. Not by much.
DTR's got a shot to possibly be playing next year. Cleveland, right? If we're to believe it's the owner there, it's basically just going to be up to old Haslam, I believe, is his last name. It's going to be up to how much money he's want to eat, because I think the Cleveland Browns players don't want Deshaun Watson on their team. I don't think Deshaun Watson wants to play for the Cleveland Browns. I don't think the Cleveland Browns fans want Deshaun Watson to play for the Cleveland Browns. So it's just going to be a question of, does Haslam want to eat that money? It'll be interesting moving forward. Mr. Williams, I got one other little quarterback-related query for you here. Let me paint a scenario where the Minnesota Vikings surprisingly actually win the NFC North, move on, and win a couple of playoff games. Do you honestly think the Minnesota Vikings are just going to let Sam Darnold walk out of town after the year that he's just had with a rookie who nobody's seen play before coming off an injury? So my question to you is, Mr. Williams, are we actually in the middle of a Sam Darnold audition right here with the final 3 weeks in the playoffs to maybe be the quarterback for the Vikings in the future and not J.J. McCarthy?
Man, I think it's a really good question. Man. I honestly, I don't know. I think Darnold has played so good this year, but I think a lot of that people contribute that to Kevin O'Connell, and much like what Shanahan has done with Jimmy G and Nick Mullins and Purdy. So it's like they just drafted this guy JJ McCarthy. You saw it with Atlanta. They have this draft capital with Penix, and now Minnesota's going to have to come up with a decision next year. They have this draft capital with McCarthy, and what happens there? So it's really tough because I have like 6 or 7 teams that need a quarterback. There's only 2 that are going to projected to be first round draft picks this year. So that leaves 5 teams without a quarterback, or you want to do a retread with Kirk Cousins somewhere else, or who knows some of these backups. So I don't know. That's a really good question. It's really intriguing.
Chris, let me ask you. You're the Minnesota Vikings owner. Do you let Sam Darnold just walk out of town after the year that he's had, or do you at least try to apply the franchise tag to him and at least try to be one that controls his destiny?
No, you got to try to control his destiny if you're the owner, right? Because that's at this minute, it's a valuable asset. So you have to have some sort of control. And in my opinion, that would be not doing what Atlanta did or Cleveland did, but to franchise tag him for a year. That being said, though, I don't like the franchise tag. I am against it. I'm definitely pro player in that situation. So, like, if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm trying to get my bag.
Jimmy, pull out your crystal ball there from over on your table with the starting lineup figures there. Pull out your crystal ball. Yep. Rub it for me. Sam Darnold, does he take snaps opening day 1 for the Minnesota Vikings, or do you see him quarterbacking another team next year when we take snaps on week 1?
Sam Darnold is making $4.5 million this year. The horrible franchise tag for next year would pay him $40 million. I think Sam Darnold takes snaps as a Minnesota Viking next year. You might as well keep him for another year, see what happens with McCarthy. He had a setback again. You never know what can happen with him. I would be fine paying him $40 million for 1 year over paying him guaranteed $120 for 4 years.
Williams, real quick, you're better on this team breakdown. With the little that McCarthy's getting paid, do you think that's feasible for the Vikings next year and still have a decent enough team if that's their quarterback room money?
Yeah, I think so. I think they can get away with it with McCarthy being on the rookie deal. I really do. And it's so hard to have a decent quarterback. And even if you contribute like 75% of it's Kevin O'Connell, okay, like you still have to find that quarterback, man. And remember, Darnold had the traits coming out. I mean, that's why he was such a high pick. He was just a little young. I mean, he's still super young. I still think I think he's younger than Joe Burrow, if that's correct. But yeah, there's still some upside there with Darnold.
Don't the Vikings have 5 quarterbacks in their quarterback room right now?
Yeah, I was gonna say Daniel Jones is there, is he not?
Yeah, like they can get rid of a few of those guys. I don't think you need 5 quarterbacks in that room right now.
Hey, man, whatever's working for him, keep doing it, I guess is what I would say there. Absolutely, right? Williams mentioned that it has not been a great year for him, so he is dipping into college again. We will get to that. But we actually have a little bit of breaking news here on the podcast for anyone joining us live, and for Mr. Jamriska and for Mr. Williams. They are not aware of this information, but the old man Chris will be getting the horse fed and hitching up the horse and buggy and making his way up from Bloomington, arriving here in the South Bend, Mishawaka area. And Chris and myself will be attending the college football playoff game Friday night between Indiana and Notre Dame.
Oh, baby.
I am told that our seats are in the Indiana section, so Chris is going to feel at home there. Jimmy, I'm not exactly a die-hard bleed green Notre Dame fan, so I think I'll be able to comport myself well enough that it won't be a problem amongst IU fans. And also, I'm just going to be an icicle, I think, frankly, at this point. I mean, we are looking at 22 degrees, 21 degrees temperatures, no snow. I'm afraid of how cold it is, but I'm looking forward to going to the game. Jimmy, your reaction to the breaking news.
It's not supposed to snow now? I thought it was. That stinks. Chris, like all kidding aside, we have a lot of fun on this podcast. I am so happy for you that you get to go as a lifelong Bleeds Crimson and Cream. You love Indiana more than I do, and they help pay the mortgage. You know what I mean? Like I am very happy for you, dude. You're going to be in heaven. It's going to be a terrific time. Bundle up, Skippy. It's going to be cold.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, it will not be my first wintry game in South Bend. Wendell Byron would take us to Notre Dame games quite often. We actually tried to go to that 1991 Notre Dame IU game, but Dad wasn't able to get tickets to that. So he'll be there with us in spirit to lead our Hoosiers to victory.
Dude, I'm going to cry, man. I like legitimately. That is, I thought Rod was going to go to the game, and I thought that was the breaking news. That's awesome. You know, you live there, wife works there, probably got a connection somewhere. Okay, cool. But
yes, Jamie. Thank you for mentioning that. Shout out to the Mrs. Morgan. All right. Shout out to the Mrs. Morgan.
Yes.
Okay. She through her wonderful boss was able to get tickets, and yes, so we did well thanks to the Mrs. Morgan. As in all things, Jimmy, if you know Kate, good things will happen.
Dude, and the fact that, Kate could have gone with you, Williams is sitting over there saying, I could have gone with you, son of a... But, dude, congratulations, Chris. That's going to be awesome. And I truly hope you see a great game, and, who knows what's going to happen.
Look at that, Jimmy. It segued right there. Williams, you don't have this down on our sheet as one you handicapped, but I know you're a Hoosiers fan. I know you're an Irish fan. You got to have some thoughts. What do you got for us as Chris and I are going to be in attendance at this game?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to go to this game just because I'm so torn on everything, but I'm happy for you guys that you guys are going. I think I might shut my phone completely off during this game. That's how nervous I am for both teams. I think it's, like I said last week, I think it's a tough draw for both teams here. I think IU got their bad game out of their system against Ohio State. If they can get the running game going, and there's some deep metrics saying that Notre Dame might not be as good versus the run as what some of their stats say. If IU can get the running game going, it's could be squeaky bum time for Notre Dame. But that being said, IU has not faced a top 50 rushing attack all year. Notre Dame is a three-headed monster, top 10 rushing attack with Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, and Riley Leonard. So I think it's going to be an all-out brawl. There's a reason why they haven't played since 1991. There's so many fans that are torn here. So hopefully it's a good game, and hopefully you guys are bundled up.
Yeah, bundled up for sure. I think bang the under would be my say to folks out there that want to play the game.
Not if Signetti has anything to say about it.
Yeah, well, listen,
run that sucker up.
He can't fight Mother Nature, and I just think as much as everybody says it doesn't matter.
He might try.
As much as it doesn't matter, we're going to go out there without our sleeves on. You're cold, right? Then by the end of the game, you're not going to want to hit people. So if Williams is right and IU establishes the run, we know Notre Dame wants to establish the run. So I'm saying bang the under, and I'm also saying I might be out in the parking lot by myself because I know Chris is not going to walk out of the game. But, I mean, I'm telling you something right now. I do not like being cold, and I do not like getting to that point where I've got so many layers on and there is just no more warmth no matter what I do. And if that thing sets in and this game is being way decided one way or another, oh, man, it's going to be tough for me, Chris, to hold on to the end. I'm just telling you right now.
You got to use layers, Rod. Dress in layers. That's the key.
But at some point you have all the layers on and then you're still cold. But then I think with enough of us in the stadium, it'll be warmer inside there. It'll be the walk home to parking, Chris. That's the other thing that I'm worried about. We may be trying to Uber this thing. Do you know what an Uber is?
I was part of the first Uber back when it was just a Wagoneer or a stagecoach is what we used to call them, Rod.
Stagecoach. That's excellent. All right, Williams, let's hit your picks really quickly here. Give us your breakdown on Tennessee, Ohio State, and you got to pick for us on Steelers and Ravens, and then one on Niners and Dolphins. The game's on everybody's lips this weekend. I kid because what you're after here, Mr. Williams, is value. It is a thing that we talk about all the time. You don't just go out there and bet the marquee games. You don't just go out there and bet the teams that you like. You're trying to find value. You told us you have some in these picks. Let's start off in the college game, the other college football playoff game we didn't already discuss.
Yeah, this was a really tough week for NFL with injuries and different quarterback changes. So I didn't see a lot of value there, but there's some books that are lacking here, and we're going to take the Tennessee team total under against Ohio State on Saturday. Let me tell you why. This was a totally different offense from at home to when they went on the road this year. And the scoring offense on the road this year for Tennessee, at Oklahoma, 25 points. Oklahoma was 21st in yards allowed, 35th in points allowed. At Arkansas, they scored 14 points. Arkansas, 65th in yards allowed, 69th in points allowed. At Georgia, 17 points they scored. Georgia's 35th in yards allowed, 23rd in points allowed. And at Vandy, they scored 36 points. Whippity-doo. Vandy's 75th in yards allowed, 49th in points allowed. Guess what Ohio State defense is? First in yards allowed in the country, first in points allowed in the country, second in passing yards allowed per game in the country. And this is the home Big Ten games for Ohio State. Their defense gave up 7 to Iowa, 17 to Nebraska, 0 to Purdue, 15 to IU, and 13 to Michigan. You've got 3 volunteer wide receivers banged up. They were wearing the red no-contact jerseys in practice this week, and you have a total of 4 of the 10 wide receivers on the roster have already hit the transfer portal. So not a lot of depth at that Tennessee wide receiver position. The Vols O-line leaves something to be desired also. And if you guys didn't know, the QB's from Long Beach, California. It's a night game in Columbus. It's going to be 25 degrees, cold. That crowd, at least for the defense, is going to be loud. This is the first time an SEC team has played in Columbus since 1988 when LSU strolled in there. I cannot stress this enough. These SEC schools do not travel ever. So they have never played in the elements until now. And fun fact, these two teams have only met one other time in their history. Rod, it was when Peyton Manning was on one side. He got the best of Heisman winner Eddie George on the other in a 1996 Citrus Bowl matchup. The Vols won 20-14. There's value on this because the team total on Tennessee on DK and ESPN Bet is under 17.5. It's minus 105. But you can find it on FanDuel at under 19.5. You have to pay just a little bit more juice, minus 118 on FanDuel, but I think it's worth it getting those 2 extra points. So under 19.5 Tennessee team total.
There we go. Possibility for snow and cold in that Ohio State game there. Tennessee under total. That's value. Okay, let's move on. We got Steelers versus Ravens. Our guy Tomlin didn't pay off for us last week, Mr. Williams. As I said, nobody's going to fault you for a Tomlin play in that spot. I think George Pickens being out really hurt the Steelers. I do want to say shout out to Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton reached out to me after my impassioned defense of the Steelers last week. I want to say shout out to the Mr. Rogers Foundation. They reached out to me as well. They were excited for the way that I was pumping up Pittsburgh. So I just want those folks to know out there in Pittsburgh that I'm here for you. I watched Striking Distance, the Bruce Willis, Sarah Jessica Parker movie from the early 90s where they patrol the rivers in Pittsburgh and trying to turn around the mojo there. I fired up a couple of ESPN classics of the Willie Stargell, Pops, We Are Family, Pittsburgh Pirates days. So Pittsburgh, just know I'm doing my part here to try to turn things around for us. Williams, what do you have football handicap-wise?
Yeah, so we haven't done any props this year, but since this game is on a Saturday, they have put out some props. So we're going to go Derrick Henry rushing attempts here. And let me just start off with some ref stats. Only 24% of the Ravens' penalties have occurred at home this season. This game is at home. Bill Vinovich is calling this game. He is a let-him-play type of ref. His crew ranks bottom 4 in least amount of offensive holding penalties called. When Vinovich is reffing a Ravens game in the Lamar era, Baltimore is 9-1 on the money line. So lack of offensive holding penalties, I think that is a good trend for a positive game script here. And in home games this year, Derrick Henry has went over 17 carries, that's the number, in 5 out of 6 games. So check this trend out. In week 5, Henry had 15 rushing attempts. The next week, he had 24. In week 8, he had 11 carries. The next week, 23. In week 11, he had 13 attempts. The next week, 24. This last week, in week 15, he had 14 carries. So if history repeats itself, he should be on his way to a 20-plus rushing attempt game. And Derrick Henry's rushing attempts over-under on Caesars is over 17, but it was juiced at minus 285, which is ridiculous. And you can get it 19-plus on there. It was still minus 140. On MGM, they had it over 18.5, minus 135 there. On DK, it was over 18.5, minus 125 there. on ESPN bet, they had over 18.5, minus 120 there. But alas, I found the best number on FanDuel. His number is only 17.5, and you only have to lay minus 108 juice on it. So massive, massive savings here for this player prop that I really like on FanDuel. This is like your significant other finding that purse, that Gucci purse, for like 78% off. Okay? I mean, this is what it's like, Jimmy Jam. We're in Christmas season, so you got to be shopping. You always got to be shopping.
78% off?
Yeah, let's
go.
Let's throw a number
so wait, after all that, you're taking Derrick Henry over 17.5 carries.
Over 17.5 rushing attempts, yes.
So your first two picks, no, I understand. Your first two picks were a team under and a running back over. Great.
Yes.
Hey, listen, Jimmy, we heard the record.
I like it.
All right, we're trying to switch things up. We're going.
No, I like it.
We're going outside the norm here, Jimmy. Let me throw it to you this way. I'm not going to ask you to handicap this football game.
Thank God.
Let's go back to the Steelers here. All right, this is their game, is it not? The Steelers win this game, they pretty much lock up the NFC North. Most of your football podcasters out there are counting the Steelers out. Do you want to back Mike Tomlin when people are counting him out like I do? You just heard all the Pittsburgh luminaries that contacted the podcast and were excited about my impassioned defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers football team. Would you like to join the telethon, so to speak?
Yeah, I would. I think they're going to lose this game. I think the Ravens have it. Remember, this is regular season Lamar. Regular season Lamar. We've got it.
Chris, all right, Chris. They don't want to join me in support of the great city of Pittsburgh.
Rod, you're missing it. Jimmy knows that he can't pick Pittsburgh because he will jinx them. So that's why he agreed with you and picked the Ravens. So he's playing 3D chess against us. But
good call.
That doesn't matter. Lamar's going to roll fives again. He's going to get 5 more passing touchdowns. Ravens are going to roll. They're going to stay in this hunt. Pittsburgh's going to lose.
Chris, is this has to do with the time that you almost choked on a French fry and you didn't realize that they were going to put French fries in your sandwiches when you first got to Pittsburgh?
They're supposed to tell you, Rod. They're supposed to let the customers know that there's going to be foreign objects in your sandwich. All right, I've never been to Panini Brothers
someone
before.
As old as you walk through their front door and assumed that you had understood the regional traditions going on there in the Pittsburgh area.
I was there way before the sandwich shop, so they should have known that I wouldn't know that.
Well, listen, I think it's time for you to stop holding it against Pittsburgh. But there you guys have it, all right? Chris is speaking out against you. He once lived in your bosom, and he is speaking out against you. But I continue to do nothing but support the city of Pittsburgh. Hines Ward, probably the best smile in football ever. I absolutely love Hines Ward. Everything Pittsburgh, I have always supported. Everyone who knows me has always known that about me. I love black. I love gold. I talk about steel. I smelt things in my spare time. Jimmy, you've seen my smelting helmet out
You're
in the garage.
a good smelter, actually. That's kind of a weird thing you do, but it is cool.
Yeah, it absolutely is. All right, I have a weird question here. This is technically our last episode before Christmas. I believe we haven't discussed this on the podcast, but I don't think we're going to try to record before Christmas. Is everybody against recording the day after Christmas?
We could probably
That's fine.
Do that. Yeah.
There we go. So then, yes, this will be our last episode before Christmas. All right. I don't have a big holiday thing, but I have a pretty funny question, I think, that I believe we are 4 smart enough gentlemen here that we might be able to nail this down. At what age do you, as a man, when presents are being opened on Christmas morning, have a preternatural urge to go and get a trash bag? How old does one become when they can no longer see people open gifts and throw wrapping paper on the floor without the trash bag being had? Jimmy, I'm going to go to you last on this, all right? Because you've got a lot of experience here. You got numerous brothers and sisters that were younger than you, so you had to see them with the presents. You got the numerous kids at your house. I'm going to come to you last. Williams, I'm going to go to you first here on this, all right? Because you are a non-kid perspective on this, but I'm still interested to hear your nomination for age when presents are being opened, where as a man, you have to get a trash bag.
I'm going to go with like 30.
Okay. 30. Any reasoning behind why 30?
Yeah, I just feel like you've grown up a little bit in your 30s. You're like, let's clean this up. Like, I know I'm going to have to do this later, so let's clean this up right now.
Do you recall the time in your life where you reached for the trash bag? Have you ever been the collector of the wrapping paper?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was probably much sooner than 30, though.
All right, so you think maybe it depends on familial situation. I think that probably does factor in there. Chris, I'm going to come to you. Your answer for when you have to start grabbing the trash bag because you can no longer stand seeing wrapping paper thrown about.
If you are old enough to work and have a job, then you should realize that if no one had grabbed a trash bag by the time that first present is getting opened up, you need to go get one right then.
Nice. Okay, look at this. So it's a work ethic thing. So again, so we're talking like what they were teaching you how to open trash bags as soon as you could move your fingers. What was happening in the King household there? I'm not understanding.
Oh, I mean, well, like one of my earliest chores was burning the trash, so yeah, you had to learn how to handle that almost instantly, and you couldn't leave it laying around. So as soon as we had chores and you didn't start opening presents without a bag even there. And if there was, you had to go get it. So yeah.
All right, so Jimmy, Chris skewed pretty young. He didn't give us a legit answer there, but I think he's skewing pretty young. William,
I would say
30.
15. 15.
Okay. I'm gonna come in somewhere around you, Chris, and my reasoning for that is I think at some point you think to yourself, this is what you're supposed to do, right? You see an uncle at some sort of family gathering, right? You see your dad, you see a grandpa somewhere, and then you, right? There's that sweet spot where you so quickly want to grow up, right? All you want to do is grow up. You want to be the adult around, right? So you're like, hey, let me go get the trash bag. Oh, look at me. All my aunts and uncles are going to look at me, and I seem so responsible for picking the stuff up. So I think it's not like you don't think to yourself, I got to get this mess cleaned up because you're not going to pick it up, right? Your mom's going to do it or your grandma's going to do it. Like, you're not actually going to be the one who's going to be made to pick the mess up at 15, but you want to seem cool and sharp. So that's when you start thinking about it. So Jimmy, the answer actually is not as young as Chris said at 15. I think the answer is a little closer to like 22, 23. That's where I think you really start to just be like, nope, this is crazy. I can't have all this wrapping paper on the floor.
I think it really boils down to when you have children that can actually open their own gifts. So we're talking anywhere between, 17 and 50. No, you're probably around like that 26, 27, but it's really more when you have the children, because let's be honest, when you've got kids at a certain age, you get up at 4:00 we got up at 4:00 in the morning one time for Christmas. Okay. I'm not going to lie. It was kind of cool, with the kids and everything, but you're exhausted. And the last thing you want to do is double duty there. So you got the trash bag out, they open it, you throw it right in instead of having to go get it later. And then you got to pick up all the trash. Oh, and then you throw the directions out by mistake, or the stickers. You throw the stickers out by mistake, you're a dead man.
Or what about the batteries that came with the toy? If those get thrown out, they're even madder.
They came with the toy.
Right.
That's why you got to have the battery drawer.
But
that's
Chris,
when you know you're
right,
an old
though.
man.
So that's a better question. What's the age that you get? What's the age that you stop caring about the mess on the floor?
Oh, actually, about 3 years later, after they do everything. I don't care, whatever. See, that was my second thing, because really they're both true. Once you get the kids, you clean it up. After a few years, you don't care anymore.
No, I was going to say,
I
Chris,
got
think
Christmas
about
presents, Christmas wrapping from last year on my floor still.
Yeah, I was going to say 45, Chris, because that's how old I'm going to be this year, and I have no intention of worrying about the wrapping paper when me and Kate and the Vanimal open some presents up on Christmas morning. Merry Christmas to all of you who just tuned in for football, and boo to you if you're one of our listeners out there that just tuned in for football. Chris and Jimmy and I have some great wrestling and some great NBA takes for you. But Williams, this is going to be your last chance to talk to any folks before Christmas. Do you want to wish Christmas tidings to our listeners before we say goodbye?
Yeah. Are we doing the last pick or no? We skipping it?
No, we're skipping it. We're skipping right over it. We're skipping right over it. The Niners and the Dolphins don't deserve any talk. But, yes, you can give out your pick at least, so we have the 3 picks.
Yes. There's tremendous value on FanDuel all this week. Let's go Niners plus 1.5 on FanDuel. That line has moved to -1 for the Fins, or for the Niners on 3 different books. So get the Niners plus 1.5 on FanDuel.
And have yourself a Merry Christmas on FanDuel, I think is what Mr. Williams was just saying there. So get at us, FanDuel, for a sponsorship here on the podcast. That is enough for football talk. I will turn it over to Mr. Jamriska, who will lead us in some NBA talk right now.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. Jimmy, Chris, and Rod are here. And Chris King, I got to give it to you. Your Bucks, baby. Your Bucks went all the way. They are the reigning, defending champions of the Emirates?
Emirates.
NBA Cup?
I believe it's Emirates.
Whatever. The NBA Cup. How excited are you?
Cup champions, Jimmy. Cup champions. You got to love it.
Yeah, they kind of kicked the OKC Thunder's butt there the other day, and they were having a lot of fun with those medals and the wine and the beer and the champagne everywhere. Rod, are they hanging a banner? Are the Bucks really going to hang a banner?
I don't know, Jimmy. I'm not sure if the Bucks are hanging a banner. I don't want to talk about the NBA Cup. I want you to cue my music up right now. I'm so angry about something that I want to get into it right here at the top of the NBA Fast Break. Let's go. Can we please find a way to talk about the beloved NBA that does not contain doom scrolling? I mean, honest to goodness gracious sakes, if it's not the ratings that are killing the NBA, if it's not guys aren't playing that are killing the NBA, it's three-pointers are killing the NBA. And oh my goodness, could we honestly please for one single solitary minute just talk about action that happens on the court? Will I admit to you that regular season games seem a bit tedious at times and there are too many of them? Absolutely. But that's the thing. We all understand that. So you're just becoming a gas bag constantly complaining about it. And who cares about ratings? Guess what? This is 2024. Every single entertainment company in America has to suffer rating slashes unless you're the NFL. That's it. That's the world that we live in. The NFL is the big bad wolf, moves its product around from spot to spot, and is the only thing that draws ratings. Every single thing is down. It's not that the NBA is a worse off sport. It's just that people in America have 75,000 different things they can do with their time, and they don't spend it watching NBA games. And that's fine. What makes it worse is that all we do is talk about it. All we do is talk about what we want to change about the game and the things that are wrong about the game. When maybe if you just talked about the game, the momentum would just keep moving forward, and perhaps a narrative wouldn't exist that the NBA is in trouble. Goodness gracious, Jimmy, I'm sorry to jump all over Rod Domination like that, but I just couldn't handle it. We had so much dead space where there were games off because of the Emirates NBA Cup that all I heard were people talking about what's wrong with the NBA. Stop it.
To put it on perspective here, the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network in the year 2024, in the past month, has had more views on TikTok than we have our entire podcast platform for the year. Why is that? It's because people want quick. People want something that they can look at and move on. NBA, people aren't going to sit and watch whole games. They're going to watch on TikTok. They're going to do YouTube. They're going to do that. But guess what? It doesn't matter because they got paid already. The NBA got paid. They are good to go for the next 7 years or however long the agreement is. They are fine. It's cyclical. Don't worry. We've got some stars coming up. We've got some old ones leaving. It will be fine. We got Cooper Flagg coming up. We got Victor Wembanyama. We've got Zai. We have some other players that can come in and do well. We will be fine. Chris, you have seen literally every single major sporting organization from start until now. There's no one can figure this out more than you. What say you, my friend?
How Chris remembers when people cared about horse racing and boxing.
Steeplechases still go on, Rod. But let's be serious though. A couple of things that they are complaining about is what you're seeing or not seeing on the court, Rod, because no one wants to watch a game where you see a team struggle from three and then continue to shoot every shot from three. People don't want to risk buying season tickets to a team when they are not guaranteed that the stars they want to see are going to play. All right, because I'm sorry, but load management and the three or nothing type offense that we see too much of in the NBA is kind of hurting the product. And if people aren't going and people aren't watching, then the NBA has a longer term issue once this current CBA and media deal is over, because if they don't get ratings up, they don't get something changed, the people who want those rights later on aren't going to be willing to pay as much money because they're not getting the ratings.
Jimmy, listen, we just helped out SEO right there, all right? Because I just railed against people saying the NBA has a problem. And then literally after I finished railing against people saying the NBA has a problem, somebody else on this podcast said the NBA has a problem. So we hit it from both angles there, Jim. That's got to help our SEO out there.
I think it does. So, Chris, this is the argument that we always get, though. It's like it's 3 or nothing. And then a few years ago, oh, there's no scoring in the NBA. This is ridiculous. It's too slow. Now it's too fast. Stars aren't playing. Well, actually, they kind of are playing now. They're playing a lot more than they ever have. Those that aren't playing are actually hurt. And then also, we've always said, oh, the NBA is too top heavy. Well, now the NBA, it's too much parity in the NBA. What are we supposed to do? It's cyclical.
I would say I don't have problems with those things. I have problem with load management, and if you think that,
Chris, you're right about that.
It's not really around anymore, though, dude.
We're moving there. We're moving there. They've literally taken the schedule in December and they have carved out off days there, right? So they have seen
4 games last week total, I think.
They've seen that it is possible to take games away. So I think somehow, Chris, that they will reformat this NBA Cup and ultimately take some games away. I think that the writing is going to be on the wall, and they are just going to see that they are going to have to take games away because they want to make all the games be a big deal anyway. So an easy way to make the games be a big deal anyway is to have fewer of them and to guarantee that the stars are going to play. So I think that it's going to happen, Chris. You're right. I can't say to you that you're wrong, but
I mean, Barkley said it best. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard his comments recently. Not real recently, but he was like, listen, we are getting paid gazillions of dollars to play a game. We are blessed, all right? We play basketball 3 or 4 nights a week. I mean, that's all we're doing, 3 or 4 games a week. And we can't muster that for 7 months out of the year. I mean, yeah, I know you're sore and you have pains, but nurses are sore and have pains, and they don't get to load manage either. So, I kind of agree with that. There's a little bit of entitlement that us regular people see from NBA players, and we don't appreciate it.
Speaking of regular people, I'm going to talk to 2 of them now because I am the reigning, defending champion of the Wins League once again. Jimmy on top. 10. Let's see. Here we go. I have 142 wins on the season. Rod, 10 behind at 132. Chris King had a pretty good week at 115. Chris, you won 10 games thanks to your Milwaukee Bucks. I did pretty good because of the Thunder, and Rod has done well because basically every one of his teams is good. Your worst team, Rod, is the Raptors. Now, Raptors are bad. No question. But they're not the worst in the league. Rod, I do want to talk about...
I think, Jimmy, we're forgetting about the fact that Canadian losses actually don't count as full losses, right? It's the conversion rate. It has something to do with the loonie versus the dollar. I think that's actually helping me out.
Speaking of Canadians, Zach Edey and the Memphis Grizzlies are doing very, very well. That was awesome. That was fantastic. 18 wins for the Grizzlies. Watch out, Rod. Your Grizzlies are coming.
Listen, I told you that the Grizzlies were going to be heard from in the Western Conference when we did our lightning quick NBA preview. I said people were sleeping on them. I said we forget how good they were a couple of years ago. Ja Morant has been back. That team is deep. They can seem to just mine dudes that can play 18 minutes for them, and they don't lose out on their team concept at all out of nowhere. I love Memphis. I just think that in a West where we're still talking about KD, is he playing, is he not playing? Minnesota's been a little lackluster. The Lakers are definitely not doing anything. Do I really believe in the Clippers? Probably not. In that world, I'm like, why not the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah, I think so, too. I think the Grizzlies do have a really good shot there. And they are kind of battle-tested, too. They've been through a lot. They won a lot of games, been through some really dark times as well. So maybe it is time for the Grizzlies. Chris, I'm not going to lie. You've done really good in your picks lately here. You only have 2 pretty bad teams, the Pelicans and the Jazz, and the Jazz are trying to lose. The Nets, though, made a trade. The Nets are winning too much for them. Dennis Schroeder's going to the Warriors, who Rod has, actually. So, Chris, are you a little nervous that your squad may not be doing as well now?
I mean, who would have thought that 10 wins through less than 30 games would be too much for a team? It's saddening that I have to have teams in my wins total team that are trying to tank. There's nothing that irks me more, as you all know. So I'm not happy about it whatsoever, even though I'm not a big Dennis Schroeder fan, but he was definitely helping Brooklyn. So of course I'm upset, and I don't want the Warriors to win. So I'm even more upset.
Jimmy Jam, as we record right now, I'm sorry, Jimmy, I was looking on Twitter. We just talked about Golden State. We just talked about Memphis. As we record right now, Memphis was up on Golden State at the end of the third quarter, 109-59. That is not a typo. That is a 50-point lead for Memphis over Golden State going into the fourth quarter. My goodness.
Well, and the Pistons, I think, scored, 14 points in the first quarter or 19 points earlier?
But you said it yourself, though, Jim, right? You talked about how that, or maybe Chris mentioned it, that the 3-point offense, and I'll agree there, right? When guys just miss 6 3-pointers in a row, and then all they do is come down to the next trip and take another 3-pointer that's even more difficult because it's a sidestep fadeaway. That stuff gets on my nerves too. And certain teams probably fall to that, and then they score 14 points in a quarter.
So I know, Rod, you hate talking about trade stuff a little too early here. You like talking about the games, but it's my show.
No, you know what, Jimmy? If it wasn't for people complaining about the NBA being in trouble, I would have meant Rod Nation for the Nets, because I agree with Chris totally. This is literally a team trading an able-bodied player who is one of their leading scorers for a guy that is not going to play this year, right? I mean, we all talk about how teams try to wink and nod at tanking. There's no way, shape, or form around this one. The Brooklyn Nets were like, whoa, Dennis Schroeder, calm down, my guy. We need to lose. We're shipping you out for a dude that's never going to play for us. Oh, and by the way, a couple of second-round picks. Those are really what we wanted, a second-round pick.
So you got to be like my team, the Wizards, who they just draft bad players. They're trying to win, and they just stink.
They were able to beat Charlotte tonight. Washington beat Charlotte tonight, and just so you guys know, since we're doing breaking news, the final of that Grizzlies-Warriors game was 144-93.
That's gross. That's embarrassing.
Maybe Steve Kerr should start playing a few less guys.
Maybe they need to go get somebody. I want to talk about the Miami Heat real quick because I like the Heat. Jimmy Butler is making a lot of money, and I just want to go real quick. Is Jimmy Butler going to be on the Miami Heat after the trade deadline? Chris King. Butler's playing well now. He's playing real well.
Yes, right, I think he'll still be on Miami.
Okay, Rod?
I tend to lean with Chris because the new trade rules are just too hampering. We're going to find out that a lot of things are going to be tweaked after this year going into next year. But I think Golden State is going to end up being just desperate enough. I don't think Houston anymore. I think Houston's going to hold their powder, but I think Golden State's going to end up desperate enough, and Jimmy's going to crow just enough that I will say yes. I will say yes, just to make for good podcasting. I will say yes. I don't know how much I believe it, but I will say yes.
Do you think that in that scenario, Rob, that Jimmy and Draymond end up on the Golden State at the same time, or do you think Draymond's part of that trade? Because I don't know if Jimmy and Draymond would end up being able to play together.
No, they're definitely playing together because Steph's not losing Draymond, right? Like, I mean, Jordan Poole's already been shipped out of town, right? And that thing, after that went down, Klay Thompson's already been shipped out of town, who was his original Splash brother. Like, Draymond is one. So I think you're going to see Kuminga go, right? You're going to see Wiggins go because both of those guys added together make around 40. So then that gets you closer to the numbers, right? Then you see maybe a Pods, maybe a Trace Jackson Davis, maybe a first-round pick, right? I think Miami's the kind of team that would take something like that, don't you, Jim? Because they don't really want to bottom out. That's not what the Heat do.
There's also some free agency situations where if the Heat do get rid of Butler, they're going to have a lot of money. And South Beach, I hear, is a pretty good destination for people. So it might be a good time to renew that. Yeah, I don't really want to see him on Houston. Although they need a player like him, they really do. But so did the Timberwolves. And that didn't go very well. And I don't know if the makeup of the Rockets players that would still be there is like the Timberwolves was, but I kind of like to see what the Rockets do and find that player at the end of the game to get the baskets.
I perked up there for a second. I thought you were trying to send him back to Minnesota. I was like, well, I guess Tibbs isn't there. Why not? Let's run it back.
They kind of need him too. I think they definitely need him. Rudy Gobert straight up for Jimmy Butler. With that being said, though, it is now time for the Kings Hardwood Hierarchy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to keep it kind of centric to the Cup because that finished this week, and that is Milwaukee winning that, and OKC, as bad as they played in that game, still deserve the queen. So
Any
Milwaukee's
excuse he could find to not put the Celtics at the top, Jim. Any excuse he could find.
That's sad, dude.
okay, and then just to make Rod even madder, I'll go ahead and put Cleveland at the Prince because they still have the best record in the NBA.
Oh, Peyton Pritchard is lighting the world on fire. Again, shout out to anyone who got Peyton Pritchard at 600-1 for Sixth Man of the Year, which he was floating around in a few books before the season started, because my guy is now the odds-on favorite.
Yeah, this is the hierarchy, Rod, not Sixth Man of the Year, so Pritchard doesn't even get on my radar.
Speaking of crappy teams, let's see. Let's look at the crappy teams that you've had as the jester here. We had the Bucks, the Raptors, the Nuggets, the Lakers, and the Celtics last week were your jester of the week.
That's so bad. Who's the jester this week, Chris? You've made a mockery of the jester, if that's even possible.
The jester for the first time this week is the Washington Wizards.
Hey,
all right. We have been flirting with them. We know how bad they are, but like in order for me to get them into this monument of craptopolis that I'm building for them to live in forever, they need to be the jester for a couple weeks in a row, but that is coming here soon.
Monument of Craptopolis. That's
Craptopolis.
Nice.
And with that, you've been listening to the Fast Break on the More You Knows Podcast Network.
Goodbye, Internet.
We're going to talk some wrestling here in just a second. That's going to be fun.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know Podcast, part of the More You Knows Podcast Network. The trifecta. We've got Balls and Brew. We've got the Fast Break. And now we're talking the WWE. We're talking Saturday night's main event. It lived up to the hype. Amazing storylines. So much changed. Chris, what did you think of Saturday night's main event?
We saw some titles change hand. Isn't that what we wanted? We wanted some big-time things to happen, right?
We did. Hey, I'm not going to say anything, but one of the three people here did take Chelsea Green over Meechin to win the championship. That's all I'm going to say. And I thought the match was fine, all you jerks. She was wearing the Zack Ryder gear, too. I thought that was pretty cool. Rod?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing worth celebrating in Saturday night's main event, in my opinion, is the fact that Chelsea Green was rewarded for years and years of dedicated service to the art of professional wrestling. Okay? Chelsea Green might not be your favorite, but guess what? Your favorite became your favorite because somewhere along the line she wiped the floor with Chelsea Green in a match that you cared about because Chelsea Green made you hate her for the minute and a half that your babyface was fighting against her, okay? The WWE exists because of people like Chelsea Green, because of people like Chad Gable, all right? Because of people like Rey Mysterio and AJ Styles and Finn Balor, right? Somebody has to get paid to lose, all right? And every once in a while, when you get paid to lose and you do it really, really, really well, you get that little carrot, and Chelsea Green got the carrot. I was way excited for her and absolutely bored to death by the majority of the rest of Saturday night's main event.
So I can't believe we didn't lead with this, but Cody Rhodes, the devilish heel, using a foreign object to defeat Kevin Owens, the only truth teller in the entire WWE. This is a travesty. It needs to be taken care of. I'm glad Kevin Owens and Triple H went to fisticuffs after the show. This is ridiculous. And Cody Rhodes got the spike pile driver, the package pile driver. Sorry, excuse me, Kevin Owens fans. Sorry, Kevin Steen fans. The package pile driver, which is a devastating move and has been banned for years in the WWE, Chris.
I mean, this means Cody Rhodes is a heel, right? I mean, that's what you guys have taught me.
Damn right he is.
I mean, so I don't understand why people are still cheering for him. I mean, this guy is as dirty as they come. You know, he turns his back on his friends constantly. He says he's against the bloodline and everything else and Roman, but you know, he's quick to join up with them every time you turn around. Like, it's clear that Cody is out for no one but himself, and it's nice that Kevin Owens is standing up for all of us real fans out here.
Rod, what'd you think? Okay, the match itself was fine. It was a decent match. I thought everything went well. But what'd you think of the end? And then what do you think of the subsequent off-air antics?
I'm not entirely sure if we have any music dialed up for me for Rod Damnation WWE style, but I am about to do another one here because I don't care how many combined views across Instagram and X and TikTok that you get for your moments. I don't care how many different fans that happen to be sitting in the little area that you decided to do your little antics, pull out their camera and shakingly move it around and yell and scream, hey, Hunter, hey, Kevin. Like, I don't care about any of that. I don't care when you come back to the show after Saturday night's main event and tell me, oh my goodness, the most viewed thing across social media all this week. I don't care. Here's what you need to do, right? Cody can pin Kevin, and then we can have 4 or 5 minutes left before you go away from NBC. And Kevin can give the small package pile driver to Cody right there in the ring on NBC. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be absolutely amazing if a monumental thing like your babyface got small package pile driver by the guy you want to create to be the biggest heel on friggin' national TV? Wouldn't it be awesome if the NBC cameramen who were paid to shoot that, or the WWE cameramen, I'm not even sure who it was, got that footage instead of Jed, who was sitting up top above Gorilla? Wouldn't that be awesome? So WWE, Triple H, I love the storyline, man. I do. Kevin Owens is great. I'm buying into it. Cody Rhodes is boring. This is not boring, but please, you have a television program. Stop with the social media views.
Jed taking shrapnel here, Chris, from Rod Damnation.
I really wasn't expecting that at all.
Agreed. Yes, that should have been the end of the show. I mean, that's easy to be the end of the show there, to really put him over. And then, Rod, you and I were chatting, I believe, a couple days ago. You know what the greatest thing to get Kevin Owens to make it believe that he could win the title? Give him the title. Have him win the championship.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Right? If he just beat Cody Rhodes, then we know how good he can be.
Cody can win it back. No issues there. They do want to go all the way to Mania, though, with that, I think. We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, though. I mean, you think it's going to be Rock and Cody? Is it? Is it going to be Rock and Roman? Where are they going to go with that?
No, it's going to be Roman Punk, because we're dispatching with Punk and Rollins already by letting them get after one another and then having that come out on Netflix. So it's going to be.
Let's talk about that. They had a huge Netflix deal with the Raw coming to Netflix on January 6th. Apropos date there, I'm sure. Pat McAfee coming back, doing Raw again with Michael Cole, so they'll have a lot of fun on that. McAfee will be back for a few months. Obviously, the road to WrestleMania is going to be filled with Pat McAfee for sure. We have 3 really big matches. The Women's World Championship match, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. We have the Tribal Combat for the Uafala and title of Tribal Chief. Put that on a ring card. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. And we have CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I'm excited. I think that's an awesome card, and I can't wait for it, Rod.
What do tribal rules mean exactly? Basically the same rules that Roman Reigns has followed in most of his matches, where anything goes?
Anything goes. Yeah, anyone can be around. I'm assuming The Rock will be there some way, shape, or form, and screw Roman Reigns some way, shape, or form. I don't know.
Yep. Here's my question we can talk about Punk Rollins, because I think we're going to have plenty of time to talk about CM Punk. I called it a while back that he's your Royal Rumble winner. I think he's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania versus somebody. I'm not entirely sure who that's going to be, but he's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania versus somebody. So he's going to, unfortunately, step over my guy, Seth, here, right? We're going to see Seth get even more spun out of control, right? That's probably where we're headed, actually, is I think we're probably moving my guy back into being a bit of a heel, right? Because he's done his babyface turn where everybody was singing his song and all that. So I think we're probably turning my guy back to a heel. But Jimmy, I'm going to live my gimmick here, okay? Raw, coming to Netflix, 3 big matches, one of them being a women's world title match. Queen, Jimmy? Queen? Charlotte Flair, return? Inject herself into the women's world title thing? Can we possibly see the Queen, Jimmy?
Sure, Rod, we can see the Queen. Why not? It'd be a good time for it. It really would be. I don't know if it would be in that match, but it would be a very good time to have the Queen come back, I think. You're not wrong.
Listen, you guys can not like the Queen all you want, but you have to admit that she is box office for the women's division.
Unless they want to save her for the Rumble, that would be huge. She comes out number 1. She comes out number 30.
Oh, see, now you're getting me excited. I'll
Yeah.
be at the Rumble.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty nice there. So we did forget to mention, we're not going to go over all Saturday night's main event, but Jesse the Body was back. Kind of fun to have him back. They kind of
no, it wasn't.
You didn't
No,
like
it wasn't.
Jesse?
Don't say that. No,
Why?
don't hype up Jesse Ventura for weeks. Okay.
Yeah, I know, and then not put him on until the end. Yeah, I know.
But here's the thing. You can't do it. All right. Jesse, we love you. All right. But you cannot, under any circumstances, give Jesse Ventura a live microphone for 3 hours. So you basically you knew that all you were going to do was tease us. So just don't do it. Just don't do it at all.
Gotcha. Chris, did you care about Jesse Ventura?
I'll take it whenever I can get it. I don't care if it's for one match, one intro, or anything. But I would like to circle back because I am wanting to speak this into existence. I am still calling into a new Mega Powers reunite with, and it's not reunite, it's just a Mega Powers unite with Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. Reimagine. Thank you, Rod. I'm speaking it into existence. I see it happening. Rollins and McIntyre versus Punk and Roman.
Okay.
Stop it. I don't know how many more times I need to tell you I don't want any part of this. I don't want any part of this.
This is for me, Rod. I'm sorry, but when I make wishes, it's for me.
Your guy's a babyface. My guy's going heel. They can't. They're not. They can't be together on
common enemies. Enemy of my enemy is my friend.
So while this is one of our last shows of 2024, our last show of 2024 is going to be the annual Yeah We Know Awards coming up, and we're going to take the next couple of minutes to kind of figure out what those awards are going to be.
Nice.
Let's do.
Hey, wait, Jim, I have one quick question. I'm going to circle back before we do that because we just talked about Netflix on Raw. Here's my question for you. Is it going to work like a DVR? Will I be able to start Raw up 30 minutes after it started and then, start it from the beginning? Or am I going to have to catch up live and then watch a replay? How's it going to work? Do we have any idea?
I think that so many people are going to watch it. We're talking 30, 40 million people. That's going to freeze and you're not going to be able to do anything. No. I think it should be the rewind and stuff like that as live. This Peacock, stuff is not good. But I think it will be that you'll be able to rewind and fast forward through. I hope so.
Because I did worry about that, right? Because I got the DVR, right? I got the YouTube library, right? I got Raw on a thing there. You know what I mean? And usually 8:15, 8:20, I started up and I could fast forward through most commercials that way.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go about it. For the Yeah We Knowies, we got to have some awards here. And here we go. Nice. So let's kind of go through this. These are some of the awards we've had in the past. We can take anything out. We can add anything you want. Tag Team of the Year. Of all those great tag teams we've had, we can talk about the Tag Team of the Year.
Shout out War Raiders.
Good win on Raw for sure. The Premium Live Event of the Year, always a fun one. Usually comes down to 2 or 3. But you never know. There's been some really good ones in the past that have not been one of the main ones.
It ain't going to be War Games this year.
You loved War Games. Match of the Year. Always a controversial one because all of our
you should also probably, we don't have a huge listener base, Jimmy, but we probably should say WWE Match of the Year because a whole bunch of people are going to tell us there's this stupid Will Ospreay and whatever match that just happened over the weekend, and that's not going to be in contention.
WWE centric. How about that?
Who was it? Will Ospreay? Who? Because I know you saw it. Who was it? Who did he fight? And everybody was freaking out about it.
I don't remember who he fought. I know.
It was one of those Ricochet type matches, though, where it's
Ricochet
just like,
and Will Ospreay are going this on Wednesday, so that'll be pretty big.
It's one of those that's just too overproduced. It looks too much like ballet and not enough like wrestling. I'm out on those kind of matches that people freak out for. That's all I was trying to say. That ain't going to be what's going to happen on this one.
Faction of the Year. We have a few huge factions. Obviously, we have the Bloodline. We have the New Bloodline.
We have Private First Class.
We have the Wyatt Six. We have Karrion Kross and crew. We have the Party Crashers. So, we've got a lot going on there. I really like that. Most underrated and then most overrated of the year. I think Rod will have a lot to say on the overrated for sure.
I think you and I have the same exact person for most underrated of the year. The person we basically nominate every year for underrated of the year.
Everyone's underrated. How about the? Oh, you know what we should do? We should do this. We should do the Tmyk Mysterio. Like the Tmyk Mysterio, most heated of the year, or something like that.
Dominic Mysterio level heat.
Something like that. We'll workshop that. Okay.
All right.
Who's getting the best heat there? Rivalry of the year, heel and face of the year. Obviously, Drew McIntyre being the heel of the year.
You could probably give that to Drew in both categories, actually, of certain of his actions at times.
Best newcomer, and that's newcomer like on the Raw roster, on the SmackDown roster. You know, they don't have to necessarily be, you know, a rookie here. But actually, now that I think about it, it's probably going to be a rookie. Biggest news of the year. Male wrestler of the year, female wrestler, and overall wrestler of the year.
Ooh.
Those are the categories we've done in the past. Anything else, Chris, that you can think of?
Yeah, no, I think that covers about everything. I'm trying to see. I mean, I really only have about.
Big shout out to Lindsay and Corey, by the way, for shooting some comments and watching. Really appreciate you folks. Love you.
I only have about 3 wrestlers, I think, that can take about all of those.
Jimmy, what about spot of the year? Right, like individual spot. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Move, right? Spot or move. You can do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, there we go. You know what I mean? But then give somebody some, you know, credit for like a big moonsault, right? Or our guy from the LWO, Joaquin Wild, when he does his rope move.
Yep, that was awesome.
Best vignette or
Ooh, Chris
TV
loves
spot.
the vignette. That should be just a Chris King special right there.
How do you spell vignette?
YETTE.
No, I think there you go. I don't think there's a Y in there. Maybe though, because it did just give Jimmy the line.
I did. Oh, I needed to. Oh, did I? Oh, did I put the N in the G? That's funny.
No Y.
Best vignette of the year.
I like the
Best
silent
talker?
Y call though, Chris. Every once in a while, the silent Y will sneak up on you.
Yeah.
But see, it's always dangerous to go for the silent Y, right? Because like you sound smart if you pulled out the silent Y that nobody knew about, but then if there isn't a silent Y, you're like, duped again.
Yeah,
I use it every day when I write vinyl.
There you go. Vinyl sidings. I think those are all good, Jimmy. Here's my question though.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have more of an ironed out definition for wrestler of the year? Or is that basically we're trying to decide between who won male and who won female, who wins it over them? Or can you give it to somebody outside of the male and female wrestler of the year? Because I don't know if we really had that ironed out last year.
I don't think we've ever had that ironed out.
I'll tell you how I worked it out last year for me.
go.
This is how I did it, right? I based it off of like what they do in football. You have wrestler of the year, your MVP. Your male and female wrestler of the year would be your offensive or defensive player of the year.
Okay.
And they typically don't give it to the same person unless it's crazy.
Okay.
I like that. I can buy that. So you're saying wrestler of the year is just, you know, be he man or female, was just someone that like dominated entertainment storyline of WWE. Oh, workhorse, you know.
We have to
that's
have
another
workhorse
one.
in there.
We had
the
a
bane
great
of our
argument about
existence.
workhorse a few years ago.
Yeah, we did. It's the
That was
animals
I was sticking up for my guy Chad Gable there.
Yeah, it's Seth Rollins. So those are going to be our categories that we have. If you can think of any other categories, please let us know at Yeah We Know Pod.
Yes, Luke and Bills. You guys are
Yes.
out there watching. You guys watch all the time. Tell us your wrestlers of the year. Cleveland Crippler, our guy Mark Allen. Send your list in here, right? We get the list in here ahead of when Jimmy and I and Chris will do it. We will drop your fan nominations.
All righty. And with that, you have been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcast network. In the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, LA Knight, this is new life for you, my friend. All right. Obscurity, where we don't even talk about you. You don't even remotely come up any way, shape, or form on this podcast. The only thing you got left, buddy, is what Chris is about to bring for you right now.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you, Rod. He is never forgotten. Goodbye, Net. Yeah.
That was good right there.
That was
Nice work.